says, my 6-month-old Shih Tzu is a challenge, full of energy, rebellious. She runs from me every time I need to pick her up. I've resorted to throwing a blanket on her to catch her. I'm so frustrated. Sounds like, Suzanne, if you haven't already, you should take a look at the recall training in Kelly's presentation. But any other tips for this older dog?
Yeah, 6 months isn't too old, but they are at their kind of most independent, willful, least impulse, um, um, well, most impulsive phase, not least impulsive phase. So, but you're on a scary path here. Avoidance in recalls is a very common problem, but it's one that can get worse pretty quickly and can be dangerous for the puppy if they think that instead of coming they should run and avoid. Because what if you need to stop them from running out the front door or out of the car or whatever it may be. Um, don't make it a game and don't make it adversarial. Take several steps back with your puppy, and I would go to hand feeding exclusively with this puppy versus the Kong and toy feeding with the other puppy that we just discussed. Whereas all food for, let's say, 2 weeks comes out of your hands. It could do longer. I'm just trying to make this achievable. And it's all for tiny little recalls. Literally start with when the puppy's calm right in front of you, and just pick a new word. Don't say come or whatever you have been saying. Pick a new word and just get your puppy used to coming and sitting in front of you from literally this far away. With a new word, and focus on the sitting and in front and focusing on you rather than the movement towards you, and then bring some movement in. There are a lot of in our recall presentation in this course. You will see a lot of the tips I have for beginning a recall with kind of a reflexive. The goal of a reflexive recall, without them even thinking about it. Turning on a dime whenever they hear their name, for instance, the name game. Use their name. And when you need to do something with your puppy that they don't like, remember, something punishing is just something that the puppy doesn't want to do. It could be going to bed. It could be going for a bath. It could be putting on a leash if you're out playing. Whatever it may be. Don't call your puppy. Quietly, nonchalantly go and pick them up, and pick them up with a food treat in hand. Small dogs are more prone to this than large dogs because we pick them up so much. I mean, all puppies are small, but some big breeds, larger breeds, get heavy pretty quickly. So people stop picking them up, and people don't do that with little breeds. And so they kind of end up losing agency really early in life. It's a very mild form of manhandling. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you're in any way abusing your puppy or being cruel to your puppy, but we're grabbing. We're apes. We're humans. We like to grab things. We pick them up. We hold them. We restrict them, and that's really rude in puppy world. And it's offensive. And it's imagine you're just kind of walking along and sniffing, or maybe you're interested in something that's on the ground, or you're chewing a toy or enjoying a nap, and somebody just comes and picks you up. It's startling. It's annoying. So I like to approach puppies and let them know that I'm coming. Just a little, hey, pup, come here. And offer a hand touch, get them to maybe come to me, take some food, put my arm underneath them as if I'm going to pick them up, and kind of test the waters, lift them a little bit while maybe luring or feeding them, so to counter condition that, feeding them, or to classically condition them really to enjoy being picked up. And if they're really resistant, I don't fight it. I take a step back and I say, okay, let's try this again. Come on, do you want to come up? And acknowledge that you're picking up a sentient being that may or may not want to be picked up at that point, and try to do so in a respectful manner. And this is, again, not against you. This is everybody. Picking up puppies and picking up small dogs. We're not very thoughtful about that, the way we do that. In the meantime, puppy could wear a long line when in the house, so that when you do need to catch her, you can just step on that, and again, nonchalantly reel the dog in without ever having to say anything or asking them to come to you. Come when called has to be fun. It's entirely voluntarily, because you only need it when you don't have your puppy. So you've got to make it the favorite thing to do and the most fun thing. I would reward it every single time, and I'd practice literally 50 to 100 times a day with the hand feeding, here and there throughout the day, with good consequences or no consequences. Or good consequence of feeding and rewarding, and then not always the consequence of being picked up or being put away or whatever it may be, or brushed, whatever it may be.
Puppies explore their world with their mouths, so it makes perfect sense that your legs wouldn't escape your pup's curiosity. Watch this next video to discover how to stop your dog chomping and biting your legs.